Hi, I'm coming to you from the call room today. It's sort of my second home. And I wanted to ask you if you've ever gotten in trouble for something that someone else did or said. And I know that sounds crazy, but it happens. Let me give you an example or kind of tell you a story. I was once working in a 150 bed hospital, and I got called in the middle of the night for a C section. Now, I'm a pediatrician, so obviously I'm not there to deliver the baby. I'm there in case the baby needs resuscitated after it's born. So I go in and I'm setting up the warming table, which is where resuscitation would occur. It's where the OB brings the baby after it's born to be assessed and dried. And we do our initial assessment. That's kind of redundant for me to say that, but we dry the baby. We make sure that everything's okay. He or she is breathing well. The heart rate is good. And we assign the initial APGAR scores. And if necessary, we give the baby a jump start. We do the resuscitation. So I go in, and I don't remember what time it was. I think 11 or 11:30 at night. And I'm setting up this, what we call the warming table, the open warmer. And there's all this equipment that we have to have ready. And a young nurse comes up to me and asks me how I like to have the equipment set up for my C-sections, which was really nice of her. I don't often get asked that, but I was already more than halfway through getting things set up. And I was grateful that she asked because, like I said, that doesn't often happen. So what I did was I pointed out to her that the textbook of neonatal resuscitation, which is the handbook we all go by, says that everyone who's attending a C-section for the purpose of resuscitating the baby is responsible for making sure that all of the equipment is set up. Everybody that's there for that baby is responsible for that equipment. Whether you're the doctor, the nurse, a technician, respiratory therapist, we're all responsible to make sure it's set up correctly. So I pointed that out to her, and I said that for my part, I like to come in and make sure it's all set up correctly, whether I'm the first one there or whether the nurses have already set it up. And in addition to that, I'm kind of old school. I use an anesthesia bag in my resuscitations. So I set up that anesthesia bag for my hands. I use that because I've been doing this for 30 years. I can, with an anesthesia bag, I can actually feel in my hand the pressures in the baby's chest. I can feel if there's a blockage in the airway or if the seal's not correct on the baby's face. So I really have bonded with the anesthesia bag. I like that over some of the newer methods and over other types of bags. So I set that up myself, and it has to be set up by me so that it's set up for my hand size and my hand strength. And so I told her that. But I also added a caveat that other pediatricians may want things set up differently and that she should check with them and check with the other L&D nurses to see if they knew how some of the other doctors wanted things set up. And then we went ahead and we did the C-section, and everything turned out okay. And I headed home, and a week or two later, I got written up. Not for that C-section, but for an entirely different C-section, one where I wasn't even present because another doctor came in. Things weren't set up the way he wanted, and he yelled and screamed at this same nurse, and she wrote up me because she got yelled at by another physician. I wasn't present at that delivery at all. I wasn't the one that yelled at her, but I was the one who got written up. That's crazy, right? That shouldn't happen, right? Adults don't act that way. Wrong. Unfortunately, adults do act that way. They do behave that way. And it's not just in healthcare. I've talked to my friends in IT, and they've had the same problems with their colleagues. I've talked to people in um, I'm blanking on words. I take a medication that causes me to sometimes lose words. But um, when you're selling things, when you work in a store and you just sell things, and they say they have similar problems with their customers, yelling at them for things that are totally the customer's fault. Okay, so it happens. It happens a lot where you get yelled at things that are totally beyond your control, and you can get written up for them at work, and this can show up in your employee profile. So what do we do about these things? How, first of all, can it be prevented? Well, yes, it can. It all comes down to communication. What could I have done differently to prevent that? Well, this nurse came to me and was speaking to me in a very nurturing style. She wanted to help me. And instead of responding in a nurturing style, I came back to her in blueprint and knowledge. I probably overwhelmed her with the amount of knowledge and information I presented her with. And I talked to her about systems, which is very blueprint. And she got this deer in headlights look. I gave her too much and didn't respond in the same way in which she spoke to me. And then the other doctor came in, and he was very, very blueprint. He wanted everything set up in a specific way. He was very blueprint, wanted these systems and the processes followed in an exact manner, and it wasn't done. He shouldn't have yelled at her. Without a doubt, he shouldn't have yelled at her. That's completely beyond my control. This is one of those times when it would have been of benefit for everyone involved to have been introduced to the BANK methodology that I've talked about here many times before. This is one of those times when enrolling individuals, any of the individuals involved in the coaching courses that I teach would have been beneficial, but enrolling the entire system would have been even better. And we do that. We do roll this out to small clinics, large clinics, hospital corporations, and that can have phenomenal results. You can, rolling it out at the corporate level or at the general clinic level, you see different results. You build teams. You have teams that talk better within the team, and you have teams that talk better from one team to another team. You get better sign out at change of shift, so there are fewer errors. You build better staff satisfaction, which leads to increased retention, which can therefore bring down the total cost to the organization. You have additional benefits. I mean, the lower errors is going to also bring down costs to the organization. But the big thing is, because you have increased staff satisfaction, you're going to have increased patient satisfaction, or if it's a store, you're going to have increased client satisfaction. Same thing with IT, increased client satisfaction. And all of these things are going to make this a magnet where people want to come and work, which is going to further reduce your recruiting costs. These are the kinds of things that we offer. And to tell you a little bit more about the courses, our signature class is a 12-week course. Why 12 weeks? Because we want to change people's habits, and that takes a while to do. And in the class, I've showed you the cards. We get people using these cards on a day-to-day basis, and there's a bit of a reward in that. There's the satisfaction of completing a task, and there's a little bit of competition involved. So it's kind of fun. There's a bit of a game to it. We have other games. We have the AI, and using that, there's tasks that you complete each week. There's the camaraderie, and every week you get recognized for having completed certain things. Every week you meet with an accountability partner. Now, how much you disclose in class or to that accountability partner is completely up to you. It can be as open or as confidential as you choose to make it. We don't force you to disclose anything you don't want. But even without disclosing things, that accountability partner, you build a bond with them, and the two of you get each other over some hurdles in this class, and you really do develop a relationship with them. I had an accountability partner that I started working with in May, and we still reach out to each other on a regular basis, even now. And this is what, October? And the interesting thing is we are of very, very different political views, and yet we will support each other through thick and thin, even now. I encourage you to think about how this could help you, because that's what this is really about. This is about helping one another. This is about growing together, personal development, and becoming better, a better you, a better at what you do through higher communication. And so if there's any way we can help you, that is what our team wants to do. We want to help you achieve more. We want to help you be better at being yourself, and we want to help you be a better partner, a better spouse, a better parent, not just better at your job. And that's what Beat Down Burnout is all about. And through better communication, we can but we can help you achieve your goals and be more resilient at work. But resiliency isn't really the answer to bullying and burnout. Communication is, and higher communication is what we offer. So have a great day, everyone, and go out and slay some dragons. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know.